Hello everyone and welcome. It is so good to have you here. Alea Moon coming in to talk to you about all the juicy things that have been going on in my life. And in today's video, I also want to share with you guys what are the things that a high value woman looks for in a man. I have 9 things that I took notes on here and I want to share them with you guys because a lot of men follow me. I will be sharing this video on my OnlyFans, on my Tantra page, and on my Facebook. So whoever resonates with this content, you're welcome to listen in and receive what it is for you. And just to be sure, this list can go on and on, but I picked those 9 things specifically because I find them to be of most importance, at least specifically for what I am looking for at this time. But before we get into all of this, I have a lot of exciting things to share with you guys. So let's go ahead and get into that. So one of the first things is I just got back from almost 3 weeks in Mexico. We were staying at the Teotihuacan village somewhere 5 minutes from the pyramids, and I was taking a shamanic breathwork initiation process. Okay, so this is a very huge step for me because now I am an ordained shamanic minister, which gives me legal rights to perform wedding ceremonies and offer psycho-spiritual counseling. It says Venus Rising Association for Transformation Shamanic Ministerial Ordainment. This is to certify that my name is ordained by Venus Rising, chartered in the state of North Carolina to perform all duties of a religiously ordained person. All right, you guys, so this was 2 weeks of training, diving super deep into the underworld, into the shadows. I had several rebirths. I gave a birth. I've taken on so much new information, and I feel really excited to be weaving all of that with my current path of Tantra, sacred sexuality, and intimacy and pleasure coaching. Okay, so if you're gonna be getting married in the future, you know that you can come to me now to officiate you in a beautiful, conscious, and spiritual way. While I was in Mexico, I also got some cute little souvenirs, and I want to show you a couple of them, guys. So the area where we were in is very known for black obsidian crystals, and the black obsidian, it has different varieties. There's the black obsidian, there's rainbow obsidian, there's different variations. So here's one that I got. So you cannot really see it because there is no sunlight on it, but this is actually a rainbow obsidian. If the sun shines on it, there is like a fun, cool little glare, whereas the black obsidian is just black. Hey Google, what are the spiritual characteristics of rainbow obsidian?
On the website sagecrystals.com, they say rainbow obsidian brings
illumination, and energy into one's blocked and stagnant emotional body, and grounds spiritual light into the emotional energy body. Alleviates depression, mood swings, depression, and protection.
Want to hear the answer?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Anyway, Google is always very helpful. So I got this heart, and then check this out. I got this next gift for my shamanic ceremonies. So you can actually tell a little more how this is like a rainbow because it has this iridescent kind of glow that changes depending on how you shine color on it. So I'm super excited to be using this knife to cut cords and demonic attachments and whatever other crap people got going on. It's absolutely beautiful, and we are sitting in the energy of the new moon. So it's always also charging on my altar for my future ceremonies. So super excited about these 2 beautiful little souvenirs that I got from Mexico. And so for those of you who don't know the breathwork process, it's basically how we get to activate DMT within our body. And DMT is present all throughout our life. It's in nature, it's within us, and it's the molecule that gets released when we die. And so when we engage in breath in a specific way, which is what I was being taught at the training, it releases DMT, which first of all takes your ego out. Okay, so your ego completely steps aside and more of your present subconscious conscious comes on board. And because of the intention and of the way that the space is set up during the ceremonies, you go into a healing journey. And so the breathwork process is a 1 hour long ceremony in which you lay down and there is some drumming, there is guidance, there is music, and basically you begin this really specific rhythmic breath, which after some time induces these really potent states of self. And without going into too much details, let me just tell you that things come to the surface that you might not even remember about, that you didn't even realize before. Like I mentioned before, I had 2 rebirths during the ceremony, and I gave birth once, obviously like symbolically. And so like when these processes takes place, what we're really doing is that we're tapping into your subconscious trauma and wounding that is preventing you from living your truly self-aware, self-loving and authentic self. And through this process, you get to bring the shit literally to the surface for clearing, okay? And part of the shamanic process is integration and processing, which helps to kind of bring it all together. And so in the future, I plan on hosting these ceremonies and really helping people to go into the underworld to deal with their shit. Because problem with a lot of the spiritual, light and fluffy community healings now is that people are really focused on raising the vibration, binaural beats and sound healing and cacao and opening the heart. But what we're missing is the aspect of tapping into the human shadow self, okay? And you can only hold as much light as you have been willing to dwell into the underworld of your own darkness, okay? And this is where a lot of people feel a little uncomfortable, especially in the light communities of gaslighting, like, oh no, we only do positivity here, like don't bring your negative emotions here, which is all bullshit, because all emotions are sacred, especially those that are not so pleasant, because those are the ones that we need to learn how to listen to and understand what is the message behind it. Because behind every emotion is a subconscious need. And until we get those needs met, they're gonna remain in the shadow and they will come through in covert ways in your relationships and most likely sabotage your relationships. All right, so that was a little bit of what I've been up to in the last couple of weeks in Mexico and giving you a little bit of an overview of what is shamanic breathwork. And so beyond just the Mexico trip, I have also been going into this whole new path of dating and relationships and how to actually date in a more conscious way. I've been doing a lot of father healing meditation and work. I actually didn't really realize how much not having a father growing up has affected me as an adult woman. And literally like about 6 months ago is when I started like diving really deep into the shadows, because for you to kind of understand this, having a mother and a father as we are growing up is like the major ingredients to becoming who we are. It's like having the necessary characteristics and traits and emotional needs that come from each individual. So when you don't have one or the other, it's almost like you're missing like these major ingredients that help you become a self-sustained, loving, and well-balanced human being. And so some of the things that I realized, because I did not have a father growing up, is all the ways that I don't know how to relate to men and how to really look for the good men. This is why there's been a whole pattern in my life of attracting these bad boys, because I was never taught what is a good man, what qualities does a good man represent. And of course, I had 3 long-term relationships in the past, and I did date what I consider to be wonderful, good men. However, those relationships didn't last, and so I am beginning to look within myself and see where am I missing something. And what I'm realizing is by not having had a father, there is just this whole chunk of my life that I did not have. And so now, as I am learning more about myself, I'm actually going into the Bible. I'm going towards the words of God and learning as to what is it to be a virtuous woman, what is a virtuous man, what is a conscious relationship and a loving sacred union. And so because my mom also never really had a super long-term relationship, I don't know what is it like to be in a super long-term, loving, committed, healthy relationship. And so part of my work over the last several months has been diving into the shadows of the unknown and really stepping into my own truth and figuring it out. What was I missing, and bringing that thing into myself. And the biggest thing here is my self-worth and self-love, because what I found in the past is looking for my validation and daddy's approval in my romantic partnerships, which was not okay, especially when sexuality started to happen early on and then all the emotions started to kind of close in on itself. Like, I realized that I need to slow things down and actually observe the men that I'm connecting to from a different perspective. All right, so with all that said, I'm gonna go ahead now and dive into the 9 qualities that I look for in a man. And I say these are the qualities that a high-level woman looks for in a man. And some of these are coming from my latest studies of the Bible, of listening to a specific pastor and how he has been presenting information to me. So some of this information is also from his words. So number 1, you guys, I'm looking for a man who understands love language and how to give it. A man who has interest in recognizing what is the ways that I like to receive love, and he has enough care to actually give it to me in this way. And for those of you who don't know what are the 5 love languages, you can do a little Google search and get a little bit more detailed information. However, there is 5 major love languages. And so they go as words of affirmations, compliments, speaking things really nicely, letting the other person hear your love. There is acts of service, meaning helping around the house, running errands, doing things that are helping the other person. There is gifts. That's self-explanatory. There is time and affection and physical touch, cuddling, kissing, hugging, actually spending like touchy time together. And the last one is quality time, meaning that you actually take time to spend with that person, okay? So those are the 5 major ones. So what I'm looking for in a man is a man who recognizes that love language is one of the powerful ways of really being in a relationship, and that you should learn what is your partner's love language. Because what's interesting is how we like to receive a love is also how we like to give love. But that doesn't always work for your partner. Let's say I like to receive gifts, so I'm gonna start giving gifts to my man. But my man doesn't care about gifts and he cares about physical affection. So I need to know that so that I'm not communicating his love language the wrong way, okay? Next, number 2. What I'm looking for in a man is a man who has control of his emotion, a man who has consistent temperament, okay? Meaning that he is in charge of his feelings and his emotional body. And when he's feeling fury or rage or anger, that doesn't like get spilled over me in an aggressive and like dangerous way. A woman should always feel safe with her man. I'm looking for a man with whom I feel safe, meaning that if he doesn't like something and he feels angry, he can come to me and communicate and express that in a calming manner, okay? And also, I don't want him spilling over his emotions when we're out in public together. It's really important for me to know that my man is composed and he knows how to handle his uncomfortable emotions, okay? So number 3, I'm looking for a man who knows and wants to serve and honor me, meaning that if I'm gonna submit myself to a man, he needs to honor and serve me. Because if I were to submit to the wrong man, he can control and manipulate me, and it can be a very toxic relationship. And a healthy woman will never submit to an unhealthy man who is not honoring her, meaning that he loves and cherishes her and really prioritizes her well-being, her physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, okay? Number 4, I'm looking for a man who is very well connected to his manhood, who knows who he is and who has a deep level of self-respect. Meaning that if by some chance I want to cuss him out and put him down, he's going to call me out on it and reassess the situation, because you should never let your woman disrespect you, because the woman that will disrespect you is actually testing you for your level of manhood. And if you will not put her kindly in her place, she will most likely either A, continue disrespecting you and basically walk all over you, or B, eventually she will leave and think that you're not man enough for her. So your ability to be in your manhood is really powerful, because if you are letting your woman disrespect you, what does that tell me if we go out on the streets? That means that you're going to let somebody out in the streets disrespect you, and that can again lead me into not feeling safe next to you. And again, safety for a woman is very important. So number 5, for a man, I'm looking for somebody who understands that there is a necessity in being courted, okay? A man who has high level in his courtship and prioritizes the element of pursuing me, okay? I should not be the one chasing, running, calling, texting, making plans, because that means I am leading the relationship, and leading is an aspect of the masculine energy. And because I am a woman who desires to stay as deeply rooted and connected to her femininity, I am looking for a partner who will take lead and take charge and direct our relationships. Yes, I am also very connected to my masculine energy. However, if I'm trying to be masculine, then the men I'm going to attract are most likely going to be feminine, and that does not create sexual polarity. I've had such men before in my life, and it's not cute. It doesn't really turn me on to be with a feminine man. And the sad part is that we are living in a world where there is a huge level of depolarization, like the poles have switched, where women are now in their masculine, leading, directing, paying bills, in charge, chasing men, and men are just like sitting pretty, looking to be cherished and honored by their women. Like it's really backwards, and I don't align with that. So I am looking for a man who has the energy to pursue and to court me properly. Number 6, I'm looking for a man who is financially stable, okay? Let's just be honest. Like, financial stability is really important. Yes, I am making my own money. I'm making really good money, but that does not mean that I want a man who's just gonna sit on his ass on the couch all day long, okay? And I don't even speak in terms of I want a super rich, wealthy man, although yes, I do, because my desired lifestyle is relatively high, because I wanna live a beautiful and comfortable life in style. However, a man should be able to, first of all, provide for himself, and then be able to provide for his family. And then as he expands, he can begin providing for his community, okay? And so something I want to read to you guys, this is from the Bible. This is the Timothy 5:8, and it says, "Though that does not provide for his own, especially his own family, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever." And so what this says here is, if a man does not tap into his ability to provide, he is worse than a non-believer, because in man, it is your God-given power to be a provider. The moment you tap into your purpose, the moment you drive yourself into connection with God, He will lead you towards a path where you can provide, okay? And again, that does not mean that you need to be a millionaire. However, you need to be making enough money to comfortably provide for yourself, for your wife, for your children, and perhaps eventually for your community, okay? So number 7. Oh, I actually skipped one. Okay, number 7. I'm looking for a man who has accomplished something in his life. And in the Bible, it talks about man of the fruit, okay? We don't want just the man who talks about goals, who talks about his dreams. I want a man who has taken action towards those dreams, because talk is cheap, okay? Everyone can talk about things that they want and they desire. But what I find really attractive is a man who actually taking the time, put all the distractions aside, and spend time cultivating his character, his skills towards his goals and achieving those goals. It's very attractive, okay? Because having that level of determination, that's your masculine energy, that's your force, okay? So I want a man who has accomplished something in his life. Next, I have number 8, okay? I like a man who is consistent. Okay, I want consistency in our relationships because men that are inconsistent are usually playing around. Okay, and inconsistency is usually the foundation of manipulation. Okay, this is where we start getting excuses. This is where he calls you here and there and only wants to see you when it's convenient for him. When a man is serious about a woman, he shows up consistently. He shows up and takes steps towards that woman, towards that relationship, towards his goals. And his consistency isn't just showing up in our relationship as dating, but also in his purpose, okay? And then we have number 9, something that I really love and cherish about a man is his relationship to his mama, okay? Assuming he has a mom or just his dad, a good relationship to your family, okay? Because foundation of everything that we are comes from our relationships to our moms and our dads. And a lot of us walk around with broken consciousness, meaning that we are traumatized, we are wounded, and we are hurt, and we are neglected and abused because we have unhealed wounds with our moms and dads. So I'm looking for a man who has a good relationships with his mom, specifically with his mama, because a man that loves and honors his mom is going to love and honor his woman, okay? And so here we are, you guys. Those are the 9 things that I look for in a man. Those are the 9 things that a high-level woman will look for in a man. Those are like, that's not the whole list, but those are the 9 things that I find pretty important. All right, you guys. And so I hope that this has helped you and brought some new awareness and insights into your life. If you have any questions or if you want to add something to the list, let me know in the comments or send me a private message. And until we see each other next time, I hope that you have an amazing, beautiful, and joyful day. And I will see you next time. Namaste.